Yeah, just to lead off, I'd like to say how excited we are to have Jaycee a part of our team. We love the competitive makeup, the cover ability, and just the person. I mean, he brings a lot of energy. I just think he's a really good fit for this team. We're excited to get him.
Okay, let's go to questions. We'll start with Brett Jensen.
Hey, Scott. I know it was the first defensive player taken in the draft, but did you ever come close to trading backwards by any chance? Were you guys getting a lot of calls after Justin Fields started falling?
Yeah, we fielded calls, but there wasn't anything that really kind of matched moving away from, Jaycee, who was the top player on our board at that time. He was just too good a fit for us. The offers didn't match walking away from Jaycee, and that's why we didn't do it.
Okay, let's go to Bridget Condon.
What was the reason for taking him over Justin Fields? What defensive guy? Why did you choose that over another quarterback?
Is that for me or for Coach?
For Scott.
Okay. Again, he was just the top rated player on our board. We saw someone that can come in, make an immediate impact for us at starter as a corner, playing opposite Dante. He'll do a great job for us. We see him as his potential is unlimited, and he just the immediate impact is why we did it.
Okay, Jonathan Alexander, then Joe Person, please.
Hey, this question is for either or both. What do you believe separates Jaycee Horn from the other top cornerbacks in this draft? What in particular?
Well, I'd say just focusing on Jaycee, what he does so well, his man cover ability, his quickness, the feistiness of him as a player, his ability to mirror and turn and run with the receivers, and that's he's the exact fit that Coach Snow wants on our defense. We just saw the best fit with him.
Hey, if both of you guys would address this, please. Just, you already been asked about Justin, obviously. Was there much discussion with him? And the fact that you went Jaycee over, with a fairly highly regarded quarterback there, does that just speak to your confidence in Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I mean, just again, we felt like I'm not going to talk about other players. I mean, we brought Sam here for a reason. We're excited to see what he can do. We're excited to give him an opportunity. We traded for him because we believe in his potential. At the same time, to us, corners a position. If you go back to last year, there were times we just couldn't get off the field, and so it's been an issue we tried to address in free agency. I think in the NFC South with the big receivers we have to deal with. This is a young man in Jaycee who, his dad was an NFL player, a great NFL player. He's grown up with it his whole life. He's played at the highest level. He's got 33-inch arms. He's 6'1", whatever he is. Ran 4.3, jumped 42 inches. I mean, he's a rare physical specimen who also has the pedigree that's hard to find. And so, when you get in this process, obviously you're comparing people against everybody. But for us, corner is an opportunity for us. Getting this type of a corner in the league that we play in is an opportunity for us to address something that's that's been an issue for us to come in along with the guys we signed in free agency. So we think he's a special player, and we're excited to see him.
Good.
Yeah, everything Coach said is accurate. We just like his ability to step on the field, compete day one to start. We need corners on this team to compete against other receivers in the league, in our division. And Jaycee, with his competitive makeup, Coach talked about the length. We talked about the man cover ability. That's what we liked about him, and that's why we chose him.
We'll go to Elena Getzenberg and then Mitch Brown.
This could be for either of you, but you talked a lot about his fit on the field. I was wondering what your conversations with Jaycee have been like, and just what you learned about him kind of more off the field.
Yeah, I had a chance to go to the pro day. There's not a person in South Carolina that doesn't, talk really well about him. Talking to him, he's, as I said, he's somebody that's extremely serious about not just being an NFL player, but being a great NFL player, and knows this region. Obviously not too far away, playing right down the road in Columbia, And as I said, besides just being a great player, he's a good person, and is also a really good fit for us in terms of understanding what it means to be an NFL player. He's seen it his whole life, and so there's a lot of things here fit-wise that just made too much sense.
Hey, Coach Mitch Brown, Watch Fox. You talked about the fit for Jaycee on this team. And obviously, a lot of people pointed to in the pre-draft process about him, not getting enough interceptions but his response was always take a look at the tape. And when you saw him in your first initial reaction, seeing him on tape, what was your reaction to that?
Is it for me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah, he jumped off the tape. I think we had 3 guys ranked in the top. 5, at the top of that round. And I think when you watch Jaycee Horn play on tape, it just jumps off the tape. His competitiveness, his ability to do a lot of different things. And, when you play bump and run corner in the SEC, with your back turned to the quarterback, you don't see you're not going to have a ton, but he did have production. He did have interceptions. You go back to the Auburn game this year. So we see that we see that he can do a lot of different things. And, again, it fits a need for us.
So David Newton, and then we'll go to Luke DeCock.
Yeah, this for both of you guys. And Scott, you had mentioned specifically several times last week how a press corner could really add a lot to this defense. Can you just kind of expand on how you think that's going to add and make this defense a little more special than it was before today?
Sure. Obviously, through free agency, we added more pass rush. We have Dante on the other side, brought in A.J. Bowie. We like our young guys. But just to add someone with the competitive makeup that Jaycee has, that edge that he brings to the team, and just his overall skill set to cover a guy one-on-one, take away the side of the field, that's what excited us. And like Coach said, it jumped out on tape. And then you get to meet the person. You hear him talk, the way he carries himself. He is a pro. I think the transition will be quick with him, and so we're excited to get him.
Matt, can you address that too?
In terms of just what part of that?
Just how adding a press corner of that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just think when you look at the NFC South, the big receivers we have to face week in and week out. Obviously we're. You have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, you have Michael Thomas, you have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, now Kyle Pitts. It's going to take a lot of guys who can cover and also cover really big men. And so we think how we feel about Dante. We're excited about the guys we brought in last year, but there's a size matchup in the NFC South that matters, and he checks that box for us.
Scott, was there any discussion as Sewell was sort of falling past Cincinnati and trying to move up and potentially address that position? And was sort of the depth of offensive linemen in the draft and the possibility of getting someone in the second round kind of enable you to use another pick on defense? Was that a factor?
Sure. We were monitoring, all the players as they came off the board, and really, we really liked Sewell. Big fans of Jaycee Horn, and we're just so happy to have Jaycee in the way he helps our team.
Guys, we got time for 3 more, so we're going to go to Vincent Richardson, Phil Orban, and finish with Reggie Anderson.
This is for Matt mostly. Scott has already mentioned a couple of times how impressive Jaycee is in man coverage. Given that you played quite a lot of zone last year, could you talk about how this potentially allows you to take maybe a different approach defensively from what you were able to last season?
Yeah, we played a lot of man too last year. We played zone, we played man. We're always going to be really versatile with what Phil does, even within what people might call zones, like on PFF. We'll single up a guy, we'll lock a guy up. So the more guys we have that can play man coverage, especially on third down, to me, this year for us has been all about this offseason is about how do we address third down, the red zone, and 2-minute end of game. And so the ability to versus the quarterbacks we're facing to play zone on third down is really hard. We weren't able to play much man on third down last year. We did play some, but this allows us to play more man on third down. But even within our zone coverages, there's a lot of man components that when you have a guy who can do it, really unlocks the coverages and allows you to do more.
Matt, was there a particular game that you saw from JC that in which he kind of jumped to the front of the pack? Was there a moment, or was it kind of a collection of seeing what you saw?
I watched them all. I'd say the Auburn game for me probably. He's playing against really good wideouts, two guys that you're going to see get drafted, and you feel him. You feel him play. And so, I liked the way our defense is coming in Carolina. I think when you have guys like Derek Brown and Brian Burns and Shaq Thompson and Jeremy Chin and a whole bunch more, I don't want to leave anyone out. There's going to be a certain way that we play, and you're going to have to match that intensity. And I think Jaycee's naturally got that, and I think you pair him with Dante, AJ, and the other guys that we have, and I think our corner room becomes a real strength.
Matt, when you went to the pro day a few weeks ago in Columbia, was Jaycee already the clubhouse leader at that point before you even walked into the indoor facility?
No, I don't. Scott's process is we all went out, gathered information, came back, and then we just kind of watched everyone together. So, to me, it was just a process of everyone getting as much information. And what's unique nowadays is I guess it's been that way for a while, but we can watch all the pro days. I mean, Scott and I and a couple other guys have been locked in a room for the last 96 hours or whatever it is, just rewatching guys. So. But it was good to see him live. But all of us have had a chance to Zoom with him, talk to people who know him, talk to people who've played against him, and I think everyone in the organization's on board.